Welcome to Geotopia for you, your one-stop destination for all things geography. In this video, we are going to discuss about a very interesting geographical paradox. The name of the paradox is Island and Lake Paradox. But before moving on to the paradox, we need to first have a look at certain basic terms. First, we need to see what exactly is a paradox. Well, a paradox can be defined as a statement or proposition which, despite sounding or apparently sounding reasoning from certain acceptable premises, leads to a conclusion that seems logically unacceptable or self-contradictory. Now, we will have a look at two geographical terms that will be essential for us to understand the island and lake paradox. First, we need to define what is an island. Well, an island can be defined as a piece of land that is completely surrounded by water on all sides. You can see the picture of an island on the right side of your screen. Some examples of islands are Greenland, Iceland, and Sri Lanka. Next, we take a look at the definition of a lake. A lake can be defined as a large area of water which is completely surrounded by land on all its sides. You can see the picture of a lake on the right side of your screen. Some examples of lakes are Dal Lake, which is located in Kashmir, and Lake Victoria, which is located in Africa. Now, we are in a position to discuss our island and lake paradox. Let us first assume that we have an Earth which is distinctly divided into two separate parts. The northern part is completely covered with land, and the southern part is completely filled with water. Now, we focus exclusively on the northern part of the earth. We can see that the northern part is completely covered with land, just as we assumed earlier. Therefore, we can say that the northern part is surrounded by water on all its sides. Now, we learned earlier in this video that a piece of land completely surrounded by water on all its sides is called an island. So, we can actually say that the northern part of our earth is in fact an island. Similarly, let's now focus exclusively on the southern part of the earth. We can see that the southern part is completely filled with water, just as we assumed earlier. Therefore, we can say that the southern part is completely surrounded by land on all sides. Now, we already learned earlier in this video that an area of water which is completely surrounded by land on all sides is called a lake. So, we can aptly say that the southern part of our earth is in fact a lake. But when we look at both the parts of our assumed earth together, we will find a very serious problem. Firstly, can the water around an island be called a lake? Also, can the land around a lake be called an island? Both situations are not quite possible. So, if the northern part of our Earth is not an island and the southern part of our Earth is not a lake, then what are they? Can you think of a possible solution to this island and lake paradox? Before I make an attempt at finding the solution of our island and lake paradox, I want you to pause this video right here and think about a possible solution to this paradox. Feel free to voice your opinions in the comments section. So, what did you think about? Let's now have a look at the solution of a paradox without any further delay. The island and lake paradox that we discussed till now is an example of dialetheia. Both the main statements that we deduced in the beginning are true, as well as the statements that we later derived from it. Thus, to define a dialetheia, we can say that it is a statement which is paradoxical through the fact that it is both true and false at the very same time. Hope you found this video fun and informative. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked our content, then please like our videos, share them, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.